Good morning, guys. Today, Will Smith shares with us another rule for success, and that is don't be outworked. This is the one that we have absolute control of. Every single one of us has the ability to control the amount of effort and hard work we put into something. So, Will Smith says that that's the one factor for him that has made him so successful. He may not have all the skill in the world, he may not have all the talent in the world, but one decision he's made in his life is that he will not let anybody outwork him. And it has spoken volumes for his success in all the things he's accomplished. So I challenge you to think about that in your life. What's one thing that you want to improve on and you know you have control over the amount of work you're willing to put into it? So if you can focus on one thing and apply the amount of effort you put into it, you'll see amazing results. Have a great morning, everyone.
Feel the power of you controlling your breathing. In through your nose and out through your mouth. You've got your legs crossed, your back straight, your eyes closed. You remember the truth. You know the truth. That you were born to win, to take control of your life the way you take control of your breathing. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. So let's do that right now. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can as we begin our day today in the best way possible. Winning the morning, winning our mind, and growing our minds and our bodies. And whatever we do. So right now, let's see ourselves doing the best walk we've ever done when that music shuts off. Right here, right where we are, right where we sit. Because we know the truth. After all, we're made of truth. We're made of the same stuff the universe is made of. That's what makes you infinitely intelligent. See yourself right now doing the best walk you've ever done when that music shuts off. When that music goes off, you're going to win. You're going to make it real. You're going to make your dream, your vision, real. Good morning, determination. So good to be here together again today. A new day, a new chance to be better than we were the last time. Here we go, everyone. When I say go, we're going to start jogging. So right now, as you're doing your best walk, whether it's side to side or whether you're simply walking on the spot, I want you to see yourself doing your best jog on the spot when I say go. I miss you so much, Beverly Glen. I miss you so much, determination. But we get to unite right now with this energy. We get to remember. We get to be our true great self. To grow our minds and to grow our bodies, wherever we are, whatever we're doing. And the way we do this is the way we'll do everything. So here we go. Okay, go. toes. Focus on your breathing. Keep going a little bit more. And stop. Okay, walking back to our best walk. Stay focused on your breathing. Remember, the way you catch your breathing, the way you control your breathing, it's the same way you can control your thoughts and your feelings. Alright, let's start with some shoulder rolls forward. Let's do 10 forward. And backwards. Okay, let's do some arm circles forward. Feel the power of you controlling your mind and your body. Feel the joy of being able to move your body through space the best way you can. And backwards. Okay, hands on your hips, bend your knees, and side stretch. Okay, let's twist our bodies. Twist. Hands on the hips. Alright, and let's do 5 push-ups, everyone. 5 push-ups. Alright, let's do 5 sit-ups together. Here we go. Best you can. Okay, and let's do 5 squats. Here we go. Alright, and let's do lunges. 3 on each side, arms out. Alternating legs. Alright, good. And let's do 10-second plank. Belly's knees off the ground. And stand up again, everyone. And let's reach for the ceiling on our toes. Hold it there for 10. Okay, and reach for your toes, straight knees. Remember to focus and control that breathing. Just reach. It's okay if you don't touch your toes. Reaching is what matters. Alright, and stand up. And let's balance. Grab one leg and focus on planting that foot firmly into the ground. Bend the one knee if you have to. Find your balance point. And then pull that heel back towards your bottom. Excellent. Alright, and switch. The other one. Find that balance and hold. Alright, good. Okay, and now let's hug the one knee. Here we go. bring that knee up. And again, find that balance. And hold it there. 10 seconds. Alright, and switch, the other one. Slowly bring it up. Alright, good job. Excellent. Okay.
Leo Messi, la pared es buena, Leo Messi, Leo Messi, Leo Messi.
Busquets, lovely movement again by Martin Montoya, and it's Messi, and he's back with a goal. Just a cameo appearance, a little slow off the mark in his first few minutes, but nothing is slow about Messi now. Here he goes, it's Messi again. Oh yes, yes, yes. Messi is just magnificent.
Most people don't realize they're sitting on a gold mine disguised as memories. They pray for financial breakthrough while ignoring the wealth God already placed inside them. Their story. The kingdom doesn't run on luck or labor alone. It runs on revelation. And when revelation meets communication, purpose turns into profit. That's why some people talk and money listens. Their words carry weight because they carry wisdom. The world tells you to grind harder, but heaven says, harvest what you've learned. You've already paid the price through mistakes, heartbreaks, and miracles. God never wastes a wound. Every failure was a financial seed in disguise. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you hide what God taught you, you're not being humble. You're being a poor steward. Proverbs 11:26 makes it plain. There's blessing on the one who sells the corn, not the one who hides it. The real reason so many believers stay broke isn't lack of faith. It's lack of packaging. They pray for overflow but keep their wisdom locked in silence. God's been preparing you to teach, to coach, to build, to write, to serve, to turn revelation into resource. What He poured into you was never meant to stay in you. This new season demands that your message become your marketplace, because what you'll discover in this message might shock you. God's plan for your financial breakthrough doesn't start with a job, it starts with your journey. And once you see how heaven turns lessons into lifelines, your story will never be just a story again. The hidden currency God placed in your story. Every person walking this earth carries a hidden currency inside them, a divine deposit that the world can't print, trade, or steal. It's the wisdom forged through experience. God never wastes a season. Every success, every heartbreak, every why did this happen moment was a classroom where heaven invested in your growth. In the kingdom, your life lessons are not random memories. They're assets waiting to be redeemed. The moment you recognize that your story is a treasury, you begin to see that your real wealth doesn't sit in your bank account. It sits in your testimony. Think about Joseph. His story looked like a disaster. Betrayal, slavery, false accusation, prison. Yet every chapter was God depositing something into him: administrative skill, emotional strength, leadership under pressure. When Pharaoh finally called him, Joseph was wealthy in something greater than gold. He was rich in wisdom. That's why Genesis 41:39 says Pharaoh told him, "There is no one as discerning and wise as you." His pain became his promotion. Most people chase money without realizing they're sitting on the very thing that could generate it: their story. God designed business to flow from revelation. When you turn your lessons into light for others, you're doing divine entrepreneurship. That's what separates worldly business from kingdom business. One extracts value, the other adds it. Your money follows your message when your message heals others. Every regret you've ever had carries a principle. Every failure hides a formula. When you mine those moments, you'll discover your internal economy. You don't need a new job, you need a new lens. Start writing down the key themes God has taught you in each season. What did you learn about trust, about risk, about faith in dry seasons? These are not just memories. They're mentorships waiting to be monetized. Even Jesus used his story as his teaching ground. His temptations, his pain, his perseverance, all became lessons for his disciples. That's how kingdom mentorship works. Revelation becomes resource. So when Scripture says in Proverbs 3:13, "Blessed is the one who finds wisdom," it's not talking about a secret philosophy. It's talking about those who recognize the gold already buried in their journey. And here's where it gets powerful. Your story isn't just for you. The same God who allowed you to walk through loss will use that story to lead someone else into gain. That's the economy of grace. What you survive becomes someone else's survival kit. And the moment you decide to share it, you start to partner with heaven in distribution. Because God doesn't want you to hoard your lessons. He wants you to circulate them. And that's where the next topic begins. How wisdom, warnings, and ways become the divine structure of wealth itself. Wisdom, warnings, and ways. The three assets that build true wealth. There are three spiritual currencies that God hides inside every person who's been through something. Wisdom, warnings, and ways. Together, they form the foundation of kingdom wealth. Wisdom is what you've learned from revelation. Warnings are what you've learned from pain. And ways are the strategies that emerge from your persistence. When you combine all three, you don't just make money, you make meaning. That's why Proverbs is not just a book of sayings, it's God's business manual disguised as poetry. Wisdom is the light that guides decision-making. Solomon didn't pray for gold or silver, he asked for understanding. And God gave him both, because wisdom always precedes wealth. The Bible says in Proverbs 8:18, "Riches and honor are with me, enduring wealth and righteousness." That means true prosperity is birthed in discernment. In today's marketplace, that could look like knowing when to speak, when to invest, and when to rest. It's not hustle culture, it's Holy Spirit strategy. Then come the warnings, the painful chapters that taught you what not to do. Those scars are not shameful, they're sacred data. Maybe you trusted the wrong business partner, ignored red flags in a deal, or lived beyond your means. Those wounds now speak. The Bible constantly uses warnings as wealth protection systems. Don't love sleep or you'll grow poor, Proverbs 20:13. Every warning you've lived becomes a gate of discernment for someone else. That's not weakness, that's wisdom matured through suffering. The third asset is ways, your proven methods, the processes that produce predictable fruit. Every successful entrepreneur, pastor, or leader eventually builds ways from their experiences. Joseph had a way to manage famine. Daniel had a way to govern kingdoms. Nehemiah had a way to rebuild walls. When you codify your divine methods, your routines, your blueprints, your business models, you turn invisible grace into visible impact. This trinity, wisdom, warnings, and ways, is how you transfer revelation into resources. It's how kingdom wealth circulates. When people pay for your course, read your book, or attend your seminar, they're not buying content. They're buying condensed years of God's dealings with you. That's why there's blessing on the one who sells, not the one who hides it. Proverbs 11:26. You're not monetizing grace, you're multiplying it. So stop disqualifying yourself because you think you're just a teacher, just a mom, or just an employee. Every one of those roles carries a lifetime of insight. The question isn't whether you have wealth, it's whether you've recognized its form. Because
Good afternoon, guys. Determination is the guarantee to your success at anything. If you apply the spirit, the energy of determination, it's really the willingness to put in the amount of work to achieve something. You will have it. It may take a long time, but it will be done. As a human being, you're the most powerful thing in this universe, but it just doesn't happen at the snap of a finger. You have to be willing to put in the day in, day out, choice by choice effort required to achieve what it is you're looking for. And I would challenge all of us to continue to apply determination in finding and bringing out our true greatness, the real true great thing we have inside of us. And if we do that, we're going to see some profound changes in our life, and we're going to enjoy the process as we go along. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Okay,
And let's sit down. And let's stretch out and reach for our toes. Straight knees. Here we go. Again, reaching is what matters. It's okay if you don't touch your toes. Just give your best. Feel the joy. Feel the process of you working to become better at every movement you make. Every stretch you do. Okay, here we go. Let's do V-shape now with the legs. So V-shape. And reach for the floor as far as away from your body as you can. And reach for one side. Hold it there. And switch to the other side. Alright, let's bring our feet together now. And gently push your knees down with your elbows and hold it there for 10. Here we go. Again, feel that power of you in the now, in the moment. Winning. W-I-N, I've heard before, stands for what's important now. What's important now is doing our best in whatever we do. Okay, let's go one leg forward and one leg back. Keep the knee on the ground and go as far back as you can without hurting yourself. Keep that knee down though. Here we go. And switch, the other one now. Again, keep that knee down. Go as far back as you can. Okay, good. All right. And let's roll onto our belly. And let's push the floor and look up at the ceiling. Cobra stretch. Here we go. Hold it for 10. All right, excellent. Okay, legs crossed again. Back straight. Eyes closed. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now I want you to see yourself right now. When that music goes on, I want you to see yourself doing the best you can on an exercise of your choice. For me today, I'm going to be working on challenging myself to do as many push-ups and air squats as I can. So I'm going to see that in my mind right now. I'm going to try to be a little bit better than I was last time. What about you? Think about it. What is there that you want to get better at? What exercise do you want to do? Remember, it's got to be within the rules, safety rules. Rules that are there for you to keep you safe. So this is the space we have right here. So what exercise will you do to the best of your ability when that music goes on? I want you to see that clearly in your mind right now. You might want to do jumping jacks. You might want to do burpees. You might want to simply dance, move your body to the music. If you want to play your own music, you can do that as well. I've got my music here. You feel free to enjoy that. But I want you to see yourself when that music goes on, doing the best you can at whatever exercise you choose. Because you know the truth. The way you do that is the same way you will improve and do better at anything. Alright, determination, let's go. Let's feel that energy moving up. Here we go. Music always changes our energy state. Whatever you do, you gotta believe that you can do better. Here I go. As many push-ups as I can do. Alright, we got 53 today. I gotta remember that for next time. What is it for you? What are you doing right now? Maybe you're doing some jumping jacks. Maybe you're dancing to the music. Whatever it is you're doing, do it to the best of your ability. You were born to be your best all the time. Remember your breathing. Always believe that you can be better than you were the last time. Even if you don't get exactly where you want to be, the process, the struggle, fighting to be better than you were last time, that's what's going to bring you your joy and your happiness. We have our determination. We get to work on that all the time. Alright, air squats are next for me. What about you?
Teo. Oh, it's diverted in.
We've been talking about it for years that they do need another centre-half. The likes of Thiago Silva, we know.
Here's Messi. Oh, he's going past the ball here. Leo Messi tucks a beautiful goal away. So typical of the man.
Because wisdom, warnings, and ways are the blueprint of the Spirit. And once you learn to steward them, you'll see how they lead directly to your area of excellence, where purpose and prosperity finally meet. Finding your area of excellence, where passion meets divine purpose. Every person has an area of excellence. That sacred intersection where passion meets purpose and heaven meets hustle. It's not found in random ambition, but in the quiet recognition of what makes your spirit come alive. You'll know you found it when you stop chasing opportunities and start attracting them. God never designed you to compete. He designed you to complete a specific assignment. That's why Ephesians 2:10 says, "We are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works." Your excellence is your calling card in the kingdom marketplace. Discovering that area often begins with curiosity. What do you naturally study without being told to? What subjects make time disappear when you talk about them? That's not an accident. That's divine wiring. Joseph's excellence was in administration, Daniel's in governance, Lydia's in commerce. Each found favor not because they copied others, but because they mastered their lane. In today's world, your excellence might be financial coaching, creative design, or even storytelling. The market rewards what heaven already endorsed. But excellence doesn't appear overnight. It's refined through friction. David didn't become excellent with a sling in the palace, but in the pasture. Repetition birthed precision. So, stop despising your small beginnings. Those hidden seasons are your rehearsal for influence. The way you steward the unseen determines what God will trust you with in the scene. Excellence is obedience multiplied by consistency. It's doing ordinary things with a supernatural mindset. Here's a practical step. Make a passion audit. Write down 5 things that energize you and 5 that drain you. You'll quickly find a pattern. Your excellence hides where excitement and endurance overlap. Then ask, how does this serve others? Because true kingdom business doesn't end in self-fulfillment, it ends in service. The world teaches, follow your passion. The Bible teaches, serve with your passion. That's where the blessing flows. Your area of excellence will also attract your divine partnerships. Proverbs 22:29 says, "Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will stand before kings." That means your skill will summon opportunities that prayer alone cannot. Prayer opens doors. Excellence keeps them open. God promotes those who refine their gifts until they reflect His excellence. So look back over your life, your hobbies, your studies, your victories, and your failures. The clues to your purpose are already written in your timeline. The Spirit doesn't waste experiences, He weaves them. Once you identify that area and align it with God's purpose, your work stops being a struggle and becomes worship. And from there, the revelation deepens. Because when you know your area of excellence, you'll begin to understand how God prepared you for the new economy that's shaping the next era of wealth. Packaging your wisdom. Turning lessons into products and impact. Every divine idea requires a container. Wisdom unshared is like grain unharvested, valuable but wasted. God doesn't just give revelation. He expects stewardship. That's why Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." In today's context, the storage is not a barn. It's a book, a course, a podcast, a framework, or even a mentorship program. Packaging your wisdom isn't pride, it's preparation. It's the bridge between inspiration and impact. When you take time to systematize what God has taught you, you turn invisible value into tangible blessing. The business world calls it intellectual property. The kingdom calls it seed. A farmer doesn't scatter soil, he scatters what the soil produced. Likewise, your experiences must be refined, structured, and presented in a way that others can receive and apply. That's what makes wisdom profitable. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs nurtured voices who've turned their scars into strategies. Look at Moses. He didn't just carry revelation, he organized it into commandments, principles, and structures. Jesus did the same. He packaged the mysteries of the kingdom into parables, short, memorable frameworks that spread across generations. That's divine branding. You can do the same today by putting your story into digestible formats. Maybe start with a simple ebook, a short video series, or a newsletter. What matters isn't perfection, it's obedience. When you package your wisdom, you also preserve it. Unwritten revelation dies with its carrier. How many mentors, pastors, or entrepreneurs take life-changing insights to the grave because they never documented them? The internet age is your opportunity to eternalize what God taught you. You don't need fancy studios or degrees. You need clarity and courage. A PDF that helps one person solve a real problem can be the beginning of your financial turnaround. The key is to see packaging as ministry, not marketing. When you sell what God gave you, you're multiplying impact, not exploiting grace. You're allowing your wisdom to go places your physical presence never could. Someone in another nation might be praying for the exact insight you're withholding. Remember, there's blessing on the one who sells the corn. You're not selling salvation. You're selling solutions that came from your sanctification. So, as you begin packaging, ask yourself, what pain have I solved that others still suffer from? That's where your product begins. Create a small container, a guide, a workshop, a framework, and test it. Don't fear the process. Even imperfect products refine your voice. What starts as a seed can become a system. And once you've packaged your wisdom, you'll begin to understand why God honors selling. Because selling isn't sin, it's stewardship. And that's exactly what the next topic is about. The blessing of selling. Why charging for your wisdom honors God. Many believers struggle with the idea of selling. They think it's unholy to charge for something God revealed to them. But the Bible teaches the opposite. Proverbs 11:26 declares, "He that withholds the corn, the people will curse him, but blessing will be upon the head of him that sells it." Selling is not greed, it's stewardship. You're not selling salvation, you're distributing revelation. When you charge for what you've built with God, you're simply assigning value to the wisdom He entrusted to you. Money follows value, and value flows through obedience. God never condemned profit. He condemned exploitation. When you serve from purity, every sale becomes a seed of impact. Think of Paul. He made tents while preaching the gospel. His work funded his mission. He didn't beg, he built. That's what modern believers must rediscover. Business as a form of worship. Charging fairly for your knowledge honors the process God used to refine you. The kingdom principle is clear. You cannot bless people with what you refuse to steward. Free content has its place, but even free ministry costs someone something. When you put a price on your wisdom, you teach others to value it, not because of
Good evening, guys. As we go on our path to developing infinite mind wealth, I want to share with you an example from Will Smith. And I've often heard this from him, either in watching videos of him or reading materials based on him and his spirit and his energy of outworking people. And I want to share this with you because it's sort of funny, but it's also serious too because of its effectiveness and its power. So he says when he gets on a treadmill to exercise, he has the spirit of he is willing to die on that treadmill. In other words, he says, if I get on a treadmill and you get on a treadmill, he goes, one of two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to die or you're going to be outworked. And he says, I'm willing to die for it. So it's that spirit, it's that energy that we have to develop our infinite mind wealth. Have a great evening, everyone.
All right, air squats. Let's see how many I can do here before I get tired. Too tired to keep going, but there's always a little bit more. That's determination. All right, here we go. You can feel free to do the same thing, or again, do your own thing. You got your own dance, your music, whatever you want to do. Whatever you do, do it to the best of your ability. Here we go. All right, how's everybody feeling? We got the blood flowing. We've given our best at something. Feeling the power of us controlling our breathing again. There's no greater joy than that. For me, no greater joy than the awareness of our determination. So sometimes I try to do these exercises and I try to do as many reps as I can in a minute. That's one way to do it. You can change up your your intensity, the amount of reps you do, the time you have, that's up to you. But whatever you choose, always try to get a little bit better than you were last time.
Always there to be won. Well ridden. Now Barcelona at speed. Messi screaming for the ball. Messi! Brilliant! Tonight, this is British weather that some of the world champions and the world's best player are having to play it. And little Messi makes light of the blizzard conditions and turns the game with a flick of that world-class left foot.
It's a silly booking pick up, isn't it?
Well, that's nonchalance, careless by Jose Angel, and he's given it to Messi. There are five around him, but can they stop him? It's Messi, and it's got in.
Of ego, but because of exchange. Money isn't dirty. It's directional. It simply flows toward solutions. When your solution comes from divine revelation, every transaction becomes sacred. Consider the widow in 2 Kings 4. She was told by Elisha to sell the oil and live off the rest. God didn't say, give it away. He said, sell it. Why? Because selling sustains your calling. It creates cycles of provision instead of moments of dependence. Your wisdom is oil. If you give it all away, the jar runs dry. But when you steward it, when you price, package, and promote it with integrity, the oil multiplies. In today's world, this truth still stands. Coaches, authors, creators, and entrepreneurs who operate with a kingdom mindset are not exploiting the market. They're redeeming it. Every product, course, or book that carries God's principles is a counterattack against the world's empty philosophies. The act of selling becomes a spiritual exchange. You give truth, they give trust. That's business done in righteousness. So stop feeling guilty for prospering. Poverty doesn't glorify God. Productivity does. Your clients, students, or audience aren't paying for grace. They're honoring the vessel that carries it. Selling what God gave you keeps your purpose sustainable and your mission scalable. And when you see that selling can be sacred, you'll realize the real miracle. Your purpose itself becomes your provision. And that's exactly what the next revelation will reveal. Purpose becomes provision. When your story becomes someone else's survival guide. There's a sacred mystery in how God turns pain into provision. Every tear you've cried, every lesson you've learned, and every victory you've earned, none of it was wasted. The same experience that once broke you becomes the bread that feeds others. That's why 2 Corinthians 1:4 says, He comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort others. Your story is not just history, it's inventory. And when you share it, you activate a divine economy where healing and income flow from the same source, your obedience. Purpose and provision were never meant to be separate. When Jesus multiplied the loaves, He didn't just feed people. He modeled a law of the kingdom. What you give, God multiplies. The little boy's lunch became overflow because it was placed in the right hands. Likewise, when you offer your story, God breathes on it. He turns your lived experience into someone else's liberation. That's not marketing, that's ministry. Many people pray for miracles of provision while sitting on unshared miracles of wisdom. They keep their testimonies hidden, their insights unspoken, thinking they're not ready yet. But your story doesn't need polish. It needs purpose. When you share how God carried you through debt, rejection, or failure, you become a bridge for someone still drowning in it. That's why Revelation 12:11 says, They overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. Testimony is transferable power, and transferable power produces prosperity. Practically speaking, this means identifying the stories that others need to hear and finding formats to deliver them. Books, podcasts, online courses, mentorship sessions. You're not boasting. You're broadcasting God's faithfulness. The marketplace is hungry for authenticity, and authenticity is the new authority. In a world drowning in fake success, real stories sell because they heal. Your story carries the credibility money can't buy. God never intended for you to separate your calling from your career. When purpose becomes your product, Impact becomes your income. That's why Matthew 25's parable of the talents matters so much. The servants who multiplied their gifts were rewarded, and the one who hid his was rebuked. Hiding your wisdom doesn't make you humble. It makes you unfruitful. Fruitfulness, not fear, is the evidence of faith. So remember this: your scars are someone else's strategy. Your redemption is someone else's roadmap. When you finally release what's inside of you, you don't just make money, you make meaning. You fulfill your assignment, fund your mission, and feed those God has called you to serve. Because when purpose becomes provision, your story stops being about survival and starts being about stewardship. You've just seen what most people never notice, that your greatest financial asset isn't sitting in your wallet, it's sitting in your wisdom. Every pain you've endured, every failure you've survived, and every insight God has whispered to you, it's all capital, waiting to circulate. But now the question is simple. What will you do with it? Will you hide it, or will you release it? If you want your purpose to fund your future, you must move from reflection to action. Write down your top 5 life lessons. Turn them into frameworks, posts, talks, or even a small course. Don't wait for perfect. Start with obedience. The moment you begin sharing your story with intention, provision begins to chase purpose. Heaven backs movement, not hesitation. Write in the comments, "My wisdom will make money move," and watch how this powerful declaration begins to shift the course of your business and your finances from this day forward. Now think about it. Who could be waiting on your wisdom right now? Whose freedom is delayed because your fear keeps you silent? Every minute you doubt your voice, someone misses their miracle. But when you speak, teach, and sell what God gave you, you're not building a brand. You're building the bridge for someone else's breakthrough. So take a bold step today. Package your wisdom. Steward your story. Start the business. Write the book. Launch the course. Because your obedience is the answer to someone else's prayer. If this message stirred something in you, consider supporting our ministry through the link in the description. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications to keep learning how faith and finance walk together in the kingdom. Most people don't realize
And once again, legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed, focused on our breathing. Back to our breathing. That powerful force keeping us alive, keeping our energy flowing. And we don't really think about it. We never really attempt to control our breathing, most of us anyway. But we were born to do that too. To remember that in any moment, we can take charge of it, the way we take charge of our breathing. Same way we take charge of our mind, our thoughts. So reflect back on today. How did you do? Are you satisfied with your work ethic? Are you satisfied with your determination? Did you use it in its fullness, its beauty? Our determination is invisible. We cannot put our finger on it. We cannot see it. But it is there. We have the power to determine what we will think and what we will do. Today, we've won the morning. We've won our minds. And therefore we can win our day and our life.